This is from self-doubt to getting started with my client, Miss Jennifer Moccio. Did I say that right?
Moccio.
Moccio. Okay. I get the names wrong sometimes. Hello, confidence community. I'm really happy that you're here with us. Jennifer completed the group confidence coaching space in May, and she's here to share her story because we learn and we gain value through storytelling. So, if you know me or if you don't, I'm Amy Colombo. I'm a confidence life coach, a registered nurse, single mother to 3 boys. If you're here with us live, drop a hello. If you're here on the replay, let us know by dropping the word replay and talk amongst yourselves in the chat, ask questions. We are here for you. And without further ado, Jen, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you, Amy. My name is Jennifer Moccio. I am 50 years old, and I am from Massachusetts. I have been a nurse my entire career. I just celebrated 28 years as a nurse. 18 of those were at the bedside. The last 10 years have been in a leadership role. 5 years as an assistant manager on the inpatient side of things, and the last 5 years have been on the outpatient side of things as a program manager. I also, in that time period, went back and got my master's degree and have just recently become certified as a Reiki practitioner. I am a mom of 4 amazing, wonderful, incredible human beings and have an incredible husband who supports me along this journey. The reason I got into nurse coaching was a leader and to step a little bit farther away from the bedside with each step along the way. And in the past couple years, kind of losing that feeling of being a nurse. And I really needed to reconnect to what it meant for me to redefine my purpose as a nurse and to really start connecting with clients again. About a year and a half ago, I lost my dad, and it was in that moment that I'm like, this is it. I need to reclaim who I am and rediscover who I am, both as a person, as a mom, and as a nurse. Looking really into more holistic nursing options and came across the Nurse Coach Collective, where I finished a 7-month program. I graduated in November and have found that it has fulfilled me in a way that I was really looking for. Becoming a nurse coach has really tapped into that I have had from being a nurse leader and being a nurse, but also in a way that I can connect with clients and really use my knowledge, my expertise to help them gain the insights and skills and set goals that they can achieve and really work together. Their coach. And it's been really an amazing few months since I've graduated, and I'm really just excited for what's ahead.
When you came to me when we met back in December, you were going for the business. You did decide to come into the program. What were some of the things that you were struggling with? What are some of the things that you were hoping to accomplish? And
there are a couple of reasons, but as a recent graduate from a nurse coaching program, I really felt it would benefit me to have a nurse coach. I really wanted to be sure that I was kind of living in a way that I wanted to serve others. So I was looking for the right coach, the right program, the right content that was going to give me what I needed to be continue to be successful as a leader, but to be successful as a nurse coach. As recently graduating and wanting to kick off my business right away, lack of confidence was definitely sitting there. I was like, how am I going to start a business? I have no idea how to be an entrepreneur. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. And it really, the timing of your container just aligned with everything that was going on with the timeline of my life. I had informally met you at a conference in September and thought to myself, she's got it. She's got the confidence. I know that this is the coach I need to be working with. And we talked, I signed up, and it really was an amazing experience. And I hope that others will be able to benefit from that as well.
your notion of having support really is a struggle. Nurse coaches to understand that, but it's like that is the thing of in nurse coaching, right? Like I need support is also a thing that shows up for women, especially high power women, high achieving, high functioning. We don't ask for help. We are the help. We are the everything to everyone. No one's that to us. And asking for help and getting support that you need is really a journey of learning. A lot of women have to learn how to ask for help. And believe it or not, learning how to ask for help, learning that you don't need to do it all is actually a big sign of emotional intelligence and emotional strength. And it's kind of like we have it categorized in here as the opposite. But speaking to that, what were some of your greatest insights and takeaways throughout the time together?
As a leader of 10 years, like to believe that I've got it. I know how to be that leader. I know what my team needs. I know what I need. But I am also one who knows that I am constantly growing and looking for feedback and looking for new tools to become a better leader, become a better mom, become a better wife, daughter, parent. I'm always looking for ways to grow. When it comes to being a leader, there are times where I want to be able to fix everything for my team. I want everybody to be happy. I want everything to be perfect. And when it can't be is when I'm like, oh, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to fix? And I don't, exactly like you said, like I don't want to ask for help. I want to think that I can do this all by myself. And it was through the container that I realized first of all, there's so many opportunities that you offer for different tools and ways of thinking that I didn't know about, I hadn't thought about. So all of those really helped me tap into recognizing for myself that, one, it's okay to not have the answers all the time. It's okay to not be perfect. And I'm actually using that with my grown children even more. I'm like, we are perfectly imperfect. And that's how I'm just trying to approach things moving forward. Really having the confidence to acknowledge that I don't always have the confidence, but doesn't matter how many skills I've learned and classes I've taken over the past 10 or 28 years, there is always something new and different to learn to improve on who I am as a person, as a leader, as a coach. That's what I look to use every day.
Thanks for sharing that. When I think of confidence through, well, I switched the title this year. It's been confidence through emotional mastery forever. And I just switched it to confidence through self-mastery because that just was the right change to make at this point. It's like, that's what this really is. It's really a self-mastery program, meeting your emotions, your thoughts, but every single part of you in a way that builds your confidence. And it doesn't mean that we are completely absolving, curing, eradicating our fears, our doubts, our perfectionist. Those parts have been with us for a very long time. What are some of the tools that you found most helpful, Jen, in meeting these parts of yourself that really needed to calm down, right? Because when we think of like, oh, we're just going to eradicate our fear, or eradicate our self-doubt, eradicate this. Spoiler alert, we don't ever eradicate them. They're going to be with us for life. So forming a new relationship with these parts of you is what builds your confidence. What were some of the tools that you found most helpful in meeting your doubt, your perfectionist, your high achiever, all of those parts?
What I loved about the group container, one was that it was a group of us. So there were 4 other women along with myself to begin with, that listening to each of their experiences and taking away of their pearls of wisdom was huge for me. There were times that I would just sit back in awe listening to, we're all kind of in the same boat, experiencing life in our own worlds, but still had so much in common. So just having that kind of opportunity was very important for me. And then each session, you offered a different tool that we could first practice on our own and, the pre-work we were doing, but then come together and really talk through it all. I loved when we were able to talk about our strengths and our saboteurs. Really learned a lot about myself. Of some of it, like I knew going into it, but it really, when I saw the results come out, I'd be like, yep, that is totally me. Those are my strengths, and these are the things I really need to work on. So I felt like that was important, and that is something I can carry forward and work and use to work with clients. Really help them identify their strengths and things that they might need to work on. I really loved you walked us through EFT and tapping. And I really want to now become certified in that as well, so that I can continue to use that for myself. I feel like my children could benefit from it, and I feel like there are clients who would definitely benefit from that. Gosh, you really forced us to look at how we love and appreciate ourselves. Sometimes it's not easy or comfortable to do that. And then we did some inner child healing. It's so many different tools that I had never really taken the time or opportunity to dive into. And each of those opened really a door or a new insight for me on, wow, this is kind of why I'm feeling the way I am as a 50-year-old, when maybe I didn't realize that some things throughout my first 49 years before, hitting this fun age of 50 had impacted the person I am, the person I've become. Lots of different tools that I can't say there was one specific one, but there's been so many that I continue to use from our time together and that I will carry forward in my practice.
Yeah, that's why I entitled it Self-Mastery, because we are validating and understanding how we came to be here. Because when we're stepping into something new, like creating a business, and we've been in nursing for 28 years, stepping into something new is going to really scare the internal family system of parts. And the system is going to hold on so tight to keep everything as it is, which is why everyone's experiencing what they're experiencing, and they're stuck, or they're procrastinating, or they're frozen, or they're avoiding, or whatever the pattern is. I just want to tell you that's watching, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, the pattern makes sense because it's like misguided. It's trying to keep you safe and protected. And we need to learn how to meet that system in a way that disarms it. And we're building that confidence along the way, because the true self comes in and becomes the leader inside the vessel and starts practicing the courage. So the courage never means that you're going to feel confident. So we all want to just feel confident when we're taking those action steps. But the confidence comes after competence of practicing the skill of courage. So really the commitment and the courage to yourself is really what's involved in building the confidence. Jen, if you can tell everyone where you are in your business right now and how your confidence has been impacted.
Yeah. Well, I'll say, if we rewind back to our first conversation, you had sort of challenged me, like, why haven't you put out into the world that you're a coach and that you are starting a business? Like, what's holding you back? And I got off that call and I was like, what is holding me back? This is silly. And it was that night that I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm going to put it on social media. I'm launching this. Here we go. So it was in that moment that I'm like, no, I have the courage to do this. Let's do it. Put it out there. I'll be honest. It has been slow and steady, but I've had to really step back and say I needed to give myself some time and some grace. I am a full-time manager. I work all week long. While they're a grown family, I have a busy family, and I also need some time to step back and focus on self-care, which I had not been good at for most of my life. So I would love to sit here and say I have this amazing, booming, thriving practice. I don't yet, but I will. I have my first couple clients. I'm really working on the marketing. I have social media. Like, I needed to realize that baby steps is okay. And I just graduated in November. I just became nurse coach board certified in January. I was putting so much pressure on myself that I needed to have this perfect business that was going to just totally financially support me as of today. And I needed for myself to be like, okay, let's come back to reality and realize it's okay to start slow and make a little bit of progress. If I can have and celebrate small wins along the way, then that's success to me. Every new client I add, doesn't matter if it's one a week, one a month, that's a win. When I can market my business by helping support a fundraiser or, something like that, that's a win for me. That's a success. So I just needed to sort of redefine for myself, what does, first of all, learning how to be an entrepreneur look like? And what is the next few months, years going to look like? And know that while it may feel like slow progress, it's progress. And I have to remember, I set a goal for myself that it would be within 3 years that I would have a thriving business. It's only been 6-7 months. And so I need to just continue to give myself that grace, that permission to sit back and continue to put the effort in, but be okay with the small steps.
Well, congratulations on creating your first couple of clients, because that is everything. And if I, 4 years in, can just speak to every single new nurse coach in here, year one is all about talking to humans, letting them know you're a coach, because stepping out and not saying I'm a nurse, but I'm a nurse coach or a life coach, and then making offers to help people. That's it. That's year one. That's the most important thing, is that you are just stepping into that new coach identity and helping people with your coaching. And you're doing that. So I want to just speak to that perfectionist who I'm even attuned to is in this conversation right now, right? But I want to celebrate you. You have a business, you're moving forward, you have clients, and that is amazing. What I do want to speak to, Jen, here, which is I think everyone will relate to, is whatever it is, starting a business, stepping forward and having the conversation, whatever you're stepping into that's new, never turns out like the outcome is almost never what you expect it to be, like, or how it happens. It never is. It's always different. And that can rattle us, and that can rattle parts of us in the beginning, because we can automatically think there's something wrong. But I just want to assure you that you are a coach. You do have a business, and you're still maintaining, like you said, the full-time job and all of these things. And there's no rush, and you get to change things along the way. Your goals change, like your vision even can change. The timeline gets to change, but not quitting and just being in it. Even if you fall off, I always say it doesn't matter. Like I just had a client come to me who's been struggling for like 5 months, and she's, going to start a 6-month container with me, and she's ready. She hasn't quit on herself, even after, in her words, like she's been flailing or failing for the last 5 months. That is the most important thing, is just keeping your eye on your vision and knowing that you're worthy. And what are you worthy of? You're worthy of the time, the effort, the energy that you're putting into it. Because I think that's what we're afraid of. We're always afraid we're going to waste resources. But I can say undoubtedly that there is no waste of resources on this journey, because who you become in the process is worth all the pain, all the struggle. I promise it is. With that said, speaking to the nurse coaches that are listening and are struggling with their confidence or getting started, or maybe they're procrastinating, or they're afraid and they don't know how, maybe they have a painful past that's getting in the way, what do you want to say to them? Any words of advice, encouragement, or hope for them?
My words of encouragement would be, go for it. This is something that you truly see as a potential future for you, something that you feel would fill your heart, your soul. As holistic nurses, we talk about mind, body, soul, and spirit. If this is something that you really feel could be your future, go for it. Making that first commitment, signing up for a course as a nurse coach, signing up for your first nurse coach for a container, anything like that is always a little scary. But when you finally make that commitment, you are making a promise to yourself that there is something maybe bigger and better in a way, but there is something so important that you are meant to follow this journey. So if you are holding back on, oh, I keep looking at this course and I just don't know if it's the right time. If you're thinking and wondering if it's the right time, in my heart, I feel like that's telling you it's the right time. So I would take advantage of the opportunity, reach out and talk to other people, ask what their experiences have been. Yeah, it's especially, I was 49 at the time, but kind of going back to school, taking more courses again, like, what am I doing? And I really kind of recreate who I am as a nurse. If it's in your heart and in your soul, and make it work. And it's so important to honor yourself and your dreams and really focus on what's important to you. I think that would be my piece of advice is go for it. Go for it. Honor yourself. Honor what your dreams are within and make the jump.
Yeah. What's a piece of advice you would give a past version of yourself? Maybe like when you were just even like thinking about stepping into this new chapter. What would you say to yourself?
You challenge me on this all the time, and I have the hardest time. If I were to give my younger self a piece of advice, probably would have been to do this sooner. It's that important to me. But I think I'm one to procrastinate. I would tell myself, stop the procrastination. You know it's important. Dive in. I really would encourage myself, if I had to do this all over again from a younger age, maybe just really kind of take that inner look at who it is I wanted. Maybe it took reaching this age to really take that look at who I am and who I want to be, but to really have some introspection and really kind of tap into what it is I want and what it was I needed, and honor that.
Yeah. For me, it would be simple. It would be, you're worth it. That would be it. I'd be like, you're worth it. And she'd be like, but you're worth it. Yep, you're worth it. Like I would just keep saying that, and she'd be fighting with me. She probably wouldn't even take it in. That's what I struggle when people ask me that too, because I'm like, I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't have listened. I know how stubborn I was back then. And like when you think of where you're at, but
I would make excuses, right? I was a busy mom raising 4 kids and a job, and I would make excuses and not remind myself that I was worth it.
And for those thinking about coming into my program, because I'm in a launch right now, I'm filling another group, Confidence Through Self-Mastery, and they're not sure, who do you believe can benefit from this?
Anybody along their timeline. I think it is great for nurse coaches who have recently graduated from a program and are kind of unsure of how to get things started and really need to get to know a little bit more about themselves to start their bigger journey. And then all the way through to somebody who is an experienced coach. You offer many different tools that could benefit anybody, from the most newest nurse coach to the most experienced nurse coach who is just looking for support from both you and the other members of the group, which we were available to each other the whole 12 weeks. There was some communication going on. I felt that was so important. But you offer a way that you support us through each different kind of tool that we talked about each week was very easy to understand, while maybe very challenging to work through individually. But it will help any nurse coach out there grow personally and professionally.
Thank you for that. And thank you. I'm taking that right in, because for those of you that are creating for your clients, and for those of you that don't know, making things simple is a lot of work. So like every round I'm going through it and I'm like, my question is always like, how can I make this more simple? Like, how can I make this? And right, it's challenging. It's not easy because it's like this internal work, but it's profound, powerful work. And how can I make it simple? And the hours that go into making things simple is a lot. I just recently heard a quote that said, like, you know, you're an expert when you can teach what you do to like a first grader. And I was like, that is true. So that's my goal
Yeah.
is to literally teach confidence through self-mastery. That's what I think of. Like, how would I say it to first graders so that they could understand? Because that's how we learn, right? And the quicker that I can help someone learn something and take it on and start integrating it, that's really what we're out for here as nurse coaches. So share with everyone who you are, how they can reach you, and anything you want to offer the audience.
So the name of my business, which I thank you for letting me promote, is Live, Love, Laugh Wellness Coaching.
I love that name, by the way.
Thank you. I wanted to tap in the live, love, and laugh. I want everybody to be able to live their authentic self. I want everybody to be able to love themselves. And I want everybody to realize that laughing and humor is so important as you're working through whatever it is we need to work through. So that the name of the business really rings so true to me in how I want to serve others. You can reach me by phone number. I'm at 413-203-96. Our first call together. First call is free. And I can also be reached by email, which is livelovelaughwellnesscoaching@gmail.com. I do have an Instagram with the same name at Live, Love, Laugh Wellness Coaching, as well as a Facebook business page. So feel free to look me up, send me a message. I would love to connect. While I have not yet kind of driven down my specific niche, find that I have really enjoyed working with a broad spectrum of clients right now, really just trying to help people, whether it is their weight loss journey. I've worked with a couple of retired nurses who kind of have been trying to find their purpose again as a retired nurse, you know. We've worked through things like that. So while I am still narrowing it down, that's part of trying to figure it out, right? I want to let just people know I'm here if you want to talk. We can decide if we're the right fit and if I can help you on your own journey through coaching.
Awesome. I'm so proud of you and I'm rooting for you out there. And kind of leads me to this. I want to say you don't need a niche to get started. Coach anyone that will let you coach them and be willing to learn for them. If you're willing to learn for your clients, and we love this, we're meant to help people. We're nurses, we're becoming coaches. We want to be fulfilled by our own purpose of helping others. So be willing to do the work, do the learning, do whatever you have to do to show up to that container and serve them powerfully. And you have the ability to do that. And go with a niche. You don't need a niche. Just coach anyone that will let you coach them. Practice coaching. Coach at least 10 clients before you like pick a niche. Because like, right, I'm even hearing you. You're like, I coach this one and that one. And that's how you start to figure out who you're meant to help.
Right.
So you're on the right path, Jen. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
And thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here. And I want to also tell you, you don't even need confidence to get started. You don't need confidence to get started. You just need to have the vision and deem yourself worthy of the journey ahead. And if you have that, getting support. Jen touched on this. Getting support is vital because you don't have to do this alone. You weren't meant to do life alone. You're not meant to do entrepreneurship alone. And I wouldn't recommend that you do. There's help. There's people out there. And if you've been this and this has been resonating, and if you're struggling, if you feel stuck, if you're procrastinating, if you're focused on, I don't have confidence, if that's something that you're saying to yourself, if you're telling yourself a story like, I don't have the time, the energy, how the hell am I going to do this? If you're overthinking and overwhelmed, then I want you to get on a call with me. It's a free clarity call. I am filling another group for July. It's called Confidence Through Self-Mastery. And the results that the women speak to time and time again, it's created to bring you to a place in 3 months where you're going to have an increased sense of self-confidence and a stronger belief in yourself. Okay, that you can handle difficult emotions, You can manage your thoughts, okay? And you can meet yourself in a way that actually moves you forward. You're not letting the fear hold you back. You're taking those action steps with the courage, okay? And you also can be your own calm in your own emotional storm. That's another big result that the women take away. I give you all the tools. You will walk away with the skill set to be able to meet that difficult emotion or part of you in a way that drives you forward. You're also going to be healing past wounds, emotional wounds. With the work that we do, I've had women tell me that they've healed more in this 12 weeks in this program than they have in years of therapy, as well as being able to take those action steps. And by the way, Rome isn't built in a day. Your business isn't built in a day. It's built by just being willing to take that one small next action step and being willing to see yourself as that, right? As I was pointing out to Jen, even as Jen was sharing, right? She's not completely cured of her self-doubt. None of us are. I'm not, she's not. We're all on our own journeys. And that's the thing. We have to learn how to move forward with the doubt, with the fear, with those vulnerable parts of us. We have to learn how to parent them, how to mother them, how to love them in a way that they feel safe to calm down. Because what's happening is you're letting them drive the car, and we want to stop letting the fear, the doubt, the dread, the procrastinator drive the car. We want to say, okay, you're coming along for this ride. And that's really what I teach you, because, you know, the affirmations, and we know what we want the new story to be. We want the new story to be, I'm worth it. I can do it all. I can have it all. And what is the journey to create that is really being willing to work through what's blocking it. And that's really what I teach you. And that's why I go to that. I help you to be able to be that strong, resilient person that can handle the adversity of entrepreneurship as well as life. Because that's the way God made us. I didn't make humans this way. We just are, right? We just are. Like, life is adversity. And the more that you're willing to meet the adversity, the stronger that confidence, courage, emotional freedom muscle will build. So that's my spiel, and that's it. I don't know if there are any questions or comments because I can't see it right now, but I will take a look and get back to all of you. I'm going to put all of Jennifer's information here as well as my own. And yeah, have an amazing day, everybody.